I'm Johnson Hood, and this is Spotlight On, the series that shines a light on the far-right creatures going bump in the night. Today, we've turned our spotlight on Stephen Miller. Stephen has played many roles in both Trump administrations, but he is generally known as a special advisor, in the same way those kids who kill small animals are called special by their therapists. He is a bald white nationalist who has the ear of the president, and most likely several more hanging from a string around his neck. While some assume he was born from an unholy union between a rat king and a yoghurt that's dried hard in the sun, Stephen was born into a Jewish family, making his weapons-grade racism even harder to fathom. As a child, he gloried in being hated, and in a high school government campaign, he delivered a speech complaining about being asked to pick up trash when there were plenty of janitors to pick it up for him. People, particularly poor people, were only there to serve his rat king ways. At the age of 17, Stephen was promoting the torture of Iraqis, stating, "We shouldn't kill them because we respect life. We should cut off their fingers instead, because torture is a celebration of life." In the same statement, Stephen also complained about his receding hairline, worried that he looked like a racist in his mid-30s, and you have to assume the two ideas are linked. Lose your hair, hate brown people. Around this time, Stephen would regularly call into the Larry Elder Show to express his frustrations. Elder was a right-wing talk show host who refuted the existence of the gender pay gap, denied climate change, and was anti-LGBTQ. When Elder was accused of sexual harassment, he defended himself by saying the victim was too unattractive to abuse. Impressed with Stephen's gutter mentality, Elder invited him onto the show where Stephen would appear 69 times. They say it takes a village to raise a child. In Stephen's case, the village was home to several psychopaths, with a shop that sold wooden crosses pre-soaked in gasoline. And soon Stephen attracted the attention of right-wingers Stephen Bannon and David Horowitz. Bannon founded Breitbart News, a media outlet for the far right, and was vice president for Cambridge Analytica, a firm that stole data from millions of Facebook users. He was a media advisor for the sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, and he would later go to jail for contempt of court. If this guy turned up at your door, you do well to ignore the bell and hide behind the sofa. Horowitz was a conservative hate-monger who opposed reparations for slavery. Together they sponge-bathed Stephen in hate, and Horowitz gave him his first job in politics as press secretary to House Representative Michelle Bachmann, an individual who opposed anti-bullying legislation and was against raising the minimum wage. She also doesn't believe in evolution, and when you hear her speak, you'll understand why. It's amazing she learned to breathe on land at all. Evil people gravitate to one another because no one else will understand their urge to be sadistic and cruel. In a normal society, an off-collar comment gets you kicked out of the badminton club. But for Stephen and his ilk, it's a flare they shoot into the sky that says, "I'm here, I'm like you, and let's kick puppies together." Later, when Trump had won the 2016 US elections and exterminated the joy from our hearts, Bannon recommended Stephen as Trump's new speechwriter. Miller was the one behind the Muslim ban and who put immigrant parents and children in separate cages at the Mexican border. He also sent 900 emails to Bannon's Breitbart News over a 15-month period, that's 2 a day, urging them to publish stories focusing on crimes committed by non-white people. During this time at the White House, Miller remained as popular as an orphanage burning down. His colleagues would frequently hide from him if they knew he was around, and no matter what he did, his hair continued to fall out, as if it no longer wished to be in his vicinity. Stephen would claim his job was his life, and would flip out at family dinners when he was asked about his dating life. An overreaction like this suggests the lady doth protest too much, and it seemed the balding beast was getting increasingly lonely. And now a quick word from our sponsors. Being refused a promotion because you were constantly late and didn't work hard enough? Does no one listen to your complaints about Hassan just because he's better than you? Then you need to blame someone other than yourself. Try Hitler pills. With our formula of bitterness, racism and self-entitlement, you'll soon have the courage to anonymously post online about the people you perceive as enemies, but about whom you know nothing. Our product is medically certified, and you should be too, for not taking it sooner. Filled with minerals like zinc and calcium and adolphium, Hitler pills improve gut health so you can stomach your obnoxious opinions for longer. You'll feel better about still living with your mum in no time. And don't forget the female in your life, because Hitler pills are for Himmler and Hurler. Every man deserves a woman who's a little more Eva brawny, but not too brawny. We don't want your friends to think you're going out with a dude. Buy right now and receive your Union Jack flag made in China, transported to you by an Indian freight company and ready to hoist on a lamppost, which was invented by a German, because British is best. Put more pep in your goose step and say hi Hitler pills, because being this far right can never be wrong. And now we rejoin Stephen, where it seems like love is in the air. Enter Katie Walden, a woman whose ambitions outstrips her morality, a perfect match for a man whose idea of a sexy time is reading Mein Kampf by candlelight. Katie attended Florida University, where she latched onto power like a tick on a deer's arse. She joined a student government party. When 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was shot and killed, the rest of the party suggested sending their condolences to Martin's parents. But Katie vetoed the idea. Trayvon Martin was black, and that government party was called, ironically, Unite. After graduation, Katie took a position at Homeland Security. One of its roles was to secure the southern border, and it was here where monster met monster, and like two corpses washed up on Lover's Beach, Stephen and Katie became the latest celebrity horror couple. But it wouldn't be enough to win them the next election, and they were kicked out of the White House by a powerful ghost called Joe Biden. In the intermediate 4 years, Stephen founded America First Legal, a law firm fighting governmental policies he deemed discriminated against white people, a demographic that has famously had a rough time of it. In 2023, AFL filed a lawsuit against Kellogg's for politicising and sexualising its breakfast cereal, on the basis they'd released a pride-themed packaging for Pop-Tarts. So, time well spent. But Stephen's true passion was in targeting vulnerable immigrants, so when Trump returned to power, he returned from the sewer to continue his work as the bald Hitler. And while Steve Bannon ended up in jail and David Horowitz was taken by the cancer fairy, Stephen stood strong and became one of the most influential members of Trump's second cabinet, drifting from department to department like a bad smell. He pressured the FBI to dismiss agents who retained loyalty to the Constitution. He set the immigrant arrest quota to 3,000 a day, often screaming and berating ICE agents for not making his dream come true. And he played a pivotal role in the illegal war started with Venezuela. Trump once quipped, "No one dislikes immigrants more than Stephen," stating, "You don't want to know what he thinks of them." To be honest, Donald, we can probably guess. Stephen is non-elected and has minimal oversight. One day he will have to answer to his maker, but you have to assume Satan's pretty happy with Stephen's work on this one. He was born with the survival instincts of a cockroach, the charm of one too, and he attracted the attention of bigger cockroaches, hoping to nurture the hate in his heart to further their means. And they succeeded, and so far Stephen has succeeded too. But as the Republicans' future starts to look as dicey as an elephant crossing a frozen lake, they're looking to get rid of some excess baggage, and Gollum's creepy uncle has long been seen as a problem. And that's the issue with Nazis like Stephen. It's all fun and games when you're storming into Poland, but these things don't last forever. And Stephen is going to find himself barricaded in his bunker with the Allies bearing down, desperately smothering a cyanide pill in peanut butter so it's easier to swallow. or he'll face a prison sentence. I'm happy either way. Spotlight on Stephen Miller was written and performed by Sean Baines. Please like and follow United State of News, please, for your weekly dose of insanity.